afternoon, everyone, or good morning to some of you arriving from faraway countries. I know we have the United States here already in, and slowly other registration members are coming in. I'm happy to welcome you to this small event commemorating the Africa Day with a chosen theme of the diaspora inspiration. In this session, the first session, we are going to talk about the part of how to support the diaspora students. And I can see we already have two presenters with us in here. And I will not waste much more time, but I would like to introduce the first speaker, who is also a star in Inspire Network. Her story has been very inspirational. And then she started to support the African students wanting to go to study in Finland through her YouTube channel. And she decided to offer guidance and support activities through real examples, showing the possibilities and opportunities whenever they can come up. She is an educator. She's also the international students influencer. So I would welcome now to the stage Tabia Milia, if you could share your insights.
All right, so thank you for this opportunity to talk about my own little contribution that I'm doing when it comes to supporting international students. My name is Tabia Milia. I'm a teacher here in Finland. I work with International School of Helsinki, to be precise. And I own a YouTube community where I support international students, and I focus mainly on African students. I also have a Facebook group. I'll be sharing more about this towards the end of my presentation. So I will just take a quick look. I want us to take a quick look about Africans here in Finland. We occupy 1.0% of the Finnish population. And before I jump into the racism experience, I also want to mention that most of the Africans here in Finland are well educated. So in 10 Africans, you will find at least 8 with a bachelor's degree. So we have a significant population in Finnish universities and universities of applied sciences. And most of these students, African students, they come from Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Kenya, and Tanzania. And now I'm just mentioning part of the struggles here because this is so obvious. According to the European Union report in 2018, 65% of Africans experience racism in Finland. And as we all know, there's this big struggle of getting their job. I call it their job because most Africans here in Finland, they work so hard, they have jobs, but it's difficult for them to get their job. The job in the sense that your field of study, what you're qualified to do, it's so difficult for you to get it because of the different barriers when it comes to navigating the labor market in Finland. So you find most Africans in doing other jobs just to pay their bills because they struggle a lot to get the jobs that they are qualified, even more than qualified to do. Now, these are some of the problems that African students face in Finland. The first is information, lack of information. And I'm going to talk about, even prior to African students moving to Finland, a lot of African students don't have the right information when it comes to studies or living in Finland. And 2 years ago, I realized this because I was talking to one of my colleagues from Nigeria, and her kid sister was scammed due to lack of information. We have a lot of African students who really want to study in Finland, but they don't have access to information. And that is why I took it upon myself to give this information for free, to make this information available to them. They don't even know about universities in Finland. They don't, they are not aware about the different scholarship opportunities here in Finland. They are not aware about the immigration process. They are not aware about the Finnish language. They are not aware about the Finnish culture and all other things. So I believe that making this information available to African students or potential African students that are willing to come to Finland for study purposes is good for us to put this information out there so that they will be able to access it. And YouTube is something that is pretty common. We all watch through YouTube, we all watch through Facebook. So I decided to start creating content and just uploading them weekly for these students to access it, and also open up discussions through our Facebook group. The next problem is that of finance. As we all know, 10 years ago or 7 years ago, when I moved to Finland as an international student, there was no tuition fee. And it was still hard because I had students from Africa who were unable to renew their permit. Means of support was it's still a very difficult thing for African students to navigate, because when you move to Finland as an international student and you are not aware of the Finnish labor market, you are not aware of the fact that you have to network, you're not aware of the kind of jobs you can apply in order to save money for this means of support. So I had students who had to go back to Ethiopia, to Zimbabwe, because they couldn't meet up with the required amount for as means of support. And now the fees thing is here. So you have students trying to pay fees and at the same time trying to save up money to extend their permit. So this is a big struggle. And these are some of the problems we face. And this is something we can help students navigate if we provide a safe environment, a community where we will mentor them and direct them as they settle in Finland. The next problem is immigration. Most international students, they are not aware about the type of permit they get. It's amazing how students who write, will send you an email telling you I have a 6 months permit, 3 months permit for study. It's not possible, as we know here in Finland. So, and this is still lack of the information, and then they fall into the hands of these scammers who collect huge sum of money from them. So those of us from Africa that are here already, we know all this information, we have this information. We can do this through our own little ways, even if it means reaching out to students from your home country, just to let them know more about this information, just to let them know that they can sit behind their computers and apply for that university program. There's culture shock when they get here. So the African culture, just the weather alone, as opposed to the Finnish weather, that's a big factor. The language barrier, it's another big factor. And if, as an international student, you move to Finland and you don't have a community where you feel at home, and also mentors to help you, tell you, oh, Finnish language is a priority, you have to make an effort to study Finnish. All these things African students need people to push them into integrating in Finland. So I already talked about mentoring and networking. I'm not going to dwell more on this because I know Idris is going to talk about this. Employment during and after studies is difficult, yeah, and language barrier keeps coming up because while studying, I was working in a hotel as a housekeeper. That you can be comfortable with because you study, but after studies, what next? So that's when the mentoring comes in. That's when networking comes in, where African students can be helped through trainings, through work tryout, because the TAE office is giving all this, making all these services available. But if they don't know about it, then they can't even make use of it. And racism, other forms of discriminations, these are things that we discuss in our community. So I'm just gonna talk more about some of these, the ways in which we can support African students. Provide information, education opportunities, a lot of education opportunities here in Finland, scholarships, the immigration process, how to go about applying for student permits. Some students from Cameroon, Ghana, they are not even aware that they have to travel to Nigeria to apply for residence permit. Different trainings, job opportunities, these are the kind of information that African students or potential African students in Finland need. Mentoring, the culture shock. The only way to limit, because we can't avoid it, this culture shock is to have a community where you can meet your fellow Africans and talk about, and kind of like just remember one or two things about home, and also share your experiences. How did you overcome this culture shock? How are you managing with the winter here in Finland? All this kind of information will really help African students to settle in. The language issue here, I always share my experience. When I moved to Finland, no one encouraged me about the language thing. I was like, I can do without it. But 2-3 years in Finland, I'm like, this is not possible. So with us, the Africans in Finland, we need to be able to mentor the incoming African students, tell them about these things, their do's and don'ts, some of the things that is a must if they have to succeed here in Finland. Navigating the Finnish labor market, permit extensions that I talk about after graduation, what you should do and what you shouldn't. We've seen deportations going on and all the likes. So if we really want to support African students, we need to volunteer our time. We need to give out our knowledge. We need to be able to talk about our journey and experiences here for them to learn from them. And also, scholarships, it's a huge factor. I've had students who got admission, but there is no money for for the fees. So scholarships, organizations should be encouraged to donate. Universities also, they need to provide more scholarship opportunities for African students, and in collaboration, which I think that's something that Finland is really kind of like. There was an increase in education export and partnership. We now have a master's program in Ghana from the University of Vasa. Hagahelia has a teacher training program there in South Africa. 450 Kenyan students moving to Finland will be moving to Finland, and they will prioritize at the beginning of their studies. They will be able to study Finnish and also the Finnish culture. These are some of the things that will really benefit African students here in Finland. So I just want to talk more in conclusion about what I do. EMEA student community. That's my international student community. It's still young. I still have a long way to go. Still trying to build up a website and other things, but I don't want to focus on that because I've been postponing this initiative. Or how do I need to get everything done before I start work? No. So just last year, May, I started a YouTube channel, and now I have over 1.6K subscribers and a Facebook page of over 245 Facebook group members. And when I get this feedback from students, African students, telling me, oh, there is no way, like, I didn't know that I can just sit behind my computer and apply for the school, write the entrance exam online, and then get admitted. I was always looking for an agent because that's how it works here. So information is the key. And my mission is to prevent students from being scammed and also help them into the Finnish society. So I connect students mainly from Africa and other parts of the world to schools in Finland. I do research about different opportunities, and I go especially for the cheap and most affordable universities here in Finland, because I know that a lot of African students who want to come study here, but they have problem with the fees. I make, like I mentioned, I upload YouTube videos weekly. I also organize workshops, group discussions with the students, and most of them are from Nigeria. I think that's where I have the highest population. Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, and then students from other parts of the world. So I also help them with university application process, how to fill the application form, all these basic things, mentorship, student permit application. And I'm looking forward to a few number of them in August. So I'll be helping them settle in Finland. I believe we all can contribute in our own little way when it comes to supporting international students in Finland. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. I think you have spoken a lot of things that not only in Finland, but around the world, when we think about the African students coming in to a specific country, is facing in terms of challenges, but also ways to support. I don't know if there is anyone in the group who has some experiences about how the African students have been or are supporting each other when they enter your countries. I think most of us here are from Finland, but Auntie, you are in the US. How is it like for African student support or the diaspora student support in general?